Each year in our country, more than 400,000 American children are removed from their families because they were being abused or neglected. These children did nothing wrong. If a relative or family friend can't care for them, a social worker tries to find them a loving foster home. Many potential foster parents prefer younger children and say that they are not interested in fostering a teen. But foster teens provide the families who take them in with a unique gift, and they deserve permanent homes. Listen to Whitney.
How did you become a foster kid?
I was 12 years old, and pretty much, I don't remember too much as to why, but I do remember coming home from school. My mom was passed out, and we heard a couple knocks on the door, and it started from, it's just gonna be a couple days, and it ended up being till I was 18. So it definitely tricked us, and we went like idiots. We were in the office, and they were telling us we're all gonna be together, me and my brothers, and we're sitting there just hoping that they could find a foster home that was co-ed. Within not even an hour, they say, hey boys, okay, so we're gonna take you first. And my oldest brother says, well, what do you mean? I thought we were all gonna stay together. Where's my little sister going? Oh, well, actually, your little sister and your little brother are going to two different places. Well, my brother was like the man in the house. He was only 14, but he was definitely very opinionated. And he starts telling him off because he's like, no, where's my little sister going? She's a girl. Where's my little brother going? He can't even talk. Are you serious? And we didn't have a choice. We had to go. So
Split.
we were split up.
And you didn't see them every other day after that?
I seen them the first 6 months. We were in the courts a lot because my mom was furious. She wanted to get us back. They told us it was going to be 3 days. 3 days turns into 6 months. And we were able to get my little brother to be placed in the same home as my two other brothers. But in terms of me going over there and staying as well, that just wasn't an option because she had an all-boys foster home. So I had to just stick it out by myself.
12 years old.
Yes.
You're talking about one day.
Mm-hmm.
Your world radically altered.
Yes.
In 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
And you had an ability at 12 years old to protect yourself to some extent, yes?
Yes, I had to be that way because when my mom was sick, I was more responsible for my younger brothers, and I didn't really get to go out and just go and have fun with my friends. I was taking care of things that I needed to take care of. So that protective instinct was always within myself, and I was suspicious of other people because that's just the way I was raised to be.
And were you then forced to grow up faster because of this? What happened?
Yeah, I was by myself. Some of these girls were people that may have been, either in jail and everybody has the reasons why they do things, and I respect that now. But when at 12 years old, you're just scared, and all you have to do is just be willing to, defend yourself if anything comes up or, if anything goes down. So I did just that.
Did you ever get into a good foster home and have the experience of somebody trying to take care of you and help you?
I did. I would have to say that didn't happen until I was about 15.
What happened then? Tell me that.
I just remember, she was really ready and just willing. She really wanted kids. She couldn't have any, but she did have one, and he was a baby, but she wanted a teenager. She actually wanted teenagers. That was a surprise. And she just seen, by that time, my mom actually had passed away. So she just seen that and we had a special connection, me and her, but the only reason why it didn't work out is because her husband wasn't ready to do foster care. It was very new to him, and, I wish she would have just they would have been on the same terms and, in terms of taking in foster youth, because it definitely affected our relationship and my stay there because I ended up leaving. It was I was strong, but it was difficult for me because I went from being, even if we were all fighting at my house, it was still my house with my brothers, you know? And where my brothers were lucky is that the first foster home they went to, they actually ended up also taking my little brother. And so they stayed the whole 6 years in the same home. They really got lucky. And I am very grateful for that because my brothers are more emotional beings than I am. And they do better in groups. And I was always isolated, you know, and I moved around. So it definitely, it was more of a lonely life for me. And I struggled and I was depressed for a while. But I managed to just see the good side of that as well for me to be able to stand firmly by myself and not have to depend on other people. I always felt that there was a stigma. I would go somewhere and say, yeah, you know, I'm in foster care. And they'd be like, well, what'd you do? And it was hard because I didn't feel that I should have had to prove myself to anybody. I mean, I've been through hell and back, and to top it off, I have to fit into other people's needs. Nobody's perfect. I shouldn't have to earn anybody's trust. And that's exactly the way I would feel in every single placement. I mean, I feel that nobody should judge anybody based on what they read in a file. They should get to know somebody personally and really just have their actions speak for them, you know, not just take what everybody else has done and turn it into what everybody else is going to do, because you don't know the person that's going to be coming into anybody's home. Nobody knows, you know, and everybody deserves a chance. I mean, you know, every place brought out a different side of me, and I conquered that side, and, you know, I just do my best to be a good person.
And did you have your troubled periods as a teenager, or did you get through without causing anybody any major grief?
No, I did. You know, everybody goes through that. I mean, it doesn't make us any worse as kids, you know, like mine was a little later at first because I did used to behave and just try to please everybody. After my mom did pass, I just got to a point where I felt like, what am I behaving for? Like, I should be out there living my life. Like, I would run away and go with my friends. But what we would go do is like go watch cable or something, because we didn't have cable. Like, they would lock the TV. It was so sad. So we would run away and watch cable together, or go like get a bunch of junk food and just like, you know, because we couldn't get that either, like unless it was from our own pocket or something. So stuff like that. But they would think I'd be out there like doing drugs sometimes, like assuming the worst, when in reality it's so innocent what we're doing because we don't have the basic things at the house. So I definitely ran away a lot.
Are there any of these foster relationships where you maintain a relationship now, where you care about the people who you saw along the way? If you could just tell me any.
No, of course. The one thing that I don't regret about my experience is the people I have met through this experience. I definitely keep in contact with just about every person that I've met in the foster care system. If anybody, you know, the rate of homelessness is so high for someone emancipating within the first 2 years, I think, of foster care. And I've helped my friends out and stuff because some of them aren't stable, and that's due to the fact that I think the foster system failed them in a way, you know. But I always I never forget, they are like my family.
How did the system fail the friends of yours who had failed? What was the...
I just feel like if you put somebody in a little box and you train them to be in that box and they get used to be in that box so long, by the time they get to be free, they're going to go crazy. They're not going to have social skills. They're not going to know how to really, like, if nobody, like, for example, we couldn't work, you know, how are we supposed to know the value of $1 or what it means to save if we're not given real life scenarios, experiences, etc.? Like, it's not going to work out. The minute you get that freedom, you're going to do whatever you want, and then it's not going to work for you, and eventually you end up in a situation you don't want to be in. I was homeless. Like, it happens to everybody. It sucks, definitely.
Everyone's going to ask this question of, you have mom and she gets sick. Why are there not all kinds of relatives around to take care of you? I mean, isn't that what normally happens? And it didn't happen to you.
It didn't. No. My family had the opportunity and to have a really big family. and they chose to be very selfish and inconsiderate and kind of just left my mom to hang out and dry. And because of that, we suffered, and my family today still doesn't understand why I refuse to speak with them. And it's because we went through a lot of verbal abuse, fighting amongst, I went through a lot, especially more than the boys did. And I just feel like it could have been prevented, and they choose not to step up, and I had to pick up the pieces because of that.
Good for you.
So.
You're a strong one.
Thank you, I know, right?
Does it feel good to be you?
Yes. As bittersweet as this experience has been, I definitely don't regret it, because without it, I don't know where I would be. So I'm very grateful.
So you're in effect one of the successful people of your family.
Yes.
What do you hope for yourself?
I just hope to, gather little pieces in my life and just move forward and have some stability, settle down, and just, rebuild. That's just the best anybody can hope for themselves, honestly.
Hopefully, hearing from Whitney has you interested in becoming a foster parent of a teenager. To find out more in Santa Cruz County, California, visit www.fostercareforkids.com or call 831-345-2700 or contact your own county's Family and Children's Services Agency. Thank you.